grade 3. How are you, my dear student? Last time we studied how to convert the tally chart into the picture graph. Then we studied how to create the bar graph. So now we know what we mean by the picture graph and what we mean by the bar graph. Today we will relate between these two graphs. So today the picture graph it will be given and I need to convert it into the bar graph. So our objectives for today is to convert the picture graph into the bar graph. So today we are going to convert this picture graph into the bar graph. As, as you know, the picture graph it contains this key. When I need to convert the picture graph into the bar graph, this key it will be very important to read it carefully because it will help me while I am drawing my bars. As you remember last time we said that we call these columns, we call them bar. This is why we call this graph bar graph because it contains bar. While we call the picture graph picture because I represent my data using the picture. As you can see here, I use the baseball. So our lesson, as we said, it will be about relate the bar graphs to scaled picture graph. Let's start. So let's solve some exercises from the book. Let's start. Now, as I said that the picture graph, it will be given like this, and I need to convert this picture graph into the bar graph. Last time, if you remember, we said that any bar graph should contain three steps. Should contain the title, it will be here, and here in this box I will draw my bars. I mean by the bars these columns, you remember? And the third step it will be by drawing the scale. The scale it will contain these numbers. Now, and we said last time also I can make the numbers continuous or I can skip count by 3, by 2, by 4 as you like. It depends on your picture graph or the data in the picture graph or in the tally chart or whatever. Now, I should start first by reading my picture graph and trying to understand it so when I convert it into the bar graph, I will convert it correct. Now, first, the title for the picture graph, it talks about Nisreen's fish. So the same title, I will go here and I will write it again on my picture in my bar graph. So this is step number 1. It will be done. Now step 2. Now my picture graph, it talks about Nisreen's fish. Here I have jellyfish, tetra, catfish and luch. And all these kind I will write it again down in my bar graph. Also, the picture graph contains something very important. It contains this key. Why it's very important? Because this key it will give me the correct number for each data from these data up here. Because for example here it say that each picture or each fish from these it's equal to. So when I want to read the data for example the jellyfish, I will say 2 plus 2 and another 2 and one more 2. So it will give me 8. For the tetra, I have one complete picture, so it will give me 2. And I have half of the picture, so I will say the half of the 2, it will be 1. So 2 plus 1, it will equal 3. What about the catfish? The catfish here, it's only 2. What about the loach? The loach here, it contains 2 and 2, so it will give me 4. Now I will convert all these data into the bar graph, but not by using the picture, by using the bars, because I will work now in the bar graph. Let's start. First, we say that the jewelfish is equal 8. So I will draw my bar till I reach number 8. Now let's draw it for the tetra. The tetra it's only 3. But here in my scale I don't have 3. What I will do? I will say 3 it's between 2 and 4. So I will draw my bar at the middle between 2 and 4. So if I make it like this, it will be exactly 3. What about the catfish? The catfish, it's exactly 2. So I will draw it exactly at line 2. What about the last one? The loot, it's equal 4. So I will draw it exactly at the line 4. Yes. Now that's all for how we are converting the picture graph into the bar graph. Just put in your mind that you should have the title, you should have your scale, and you are free. You can choose the numbers for your scale depending on your question. But you should put in your mind something that when you draw the scale, it should contain the maximum number for your data and the minimum number. And the distance between each line and the next one should be the same. For example, I can say 0, 2, then for example, I can say here 8. If I start skipping count by 2, I should continue with the same interval. Now, let's take another example. Here I have this example, and this is my picture graph. It's about stars on homework. So I will repeat the same title in my paragraph. Now I will just copy these data in my paragraph. As I said, I should take care about my key and I should read it carefully. Here, the key say that each star equal 5. This means that Amir have 5 and 5, so it will give me 10. And Tariq have only one star, so it means that he has only 5. Ahmed have 1, 2, 3, 4 stars, so it will give me 20. Now, and here also grade 3, as you can notice that here the names it's not down. I can rotate my paragraph, no problem. So here I have the names and down it will be my scale, no problem. I can make the names down and the scale up, or I can reverse between them. Now, Amir, we say that he should have 10, so I will draw my bar till I reach number 10, as you can see here. Yes, that's correct. What about Tariq? Tariq have 5, so I will draw it exactly at line 5. The last one for Ahmed. Ahmed, yes, he got 20 stars. This is why I will draw it till I reach 20. You see, it's very easy and simple. Now, let's solve the last exercise together. Yasmin kept a tally chart of all the times her cat did a trick. Display the data in the skilled picture graph and a paragraph. So here in this example, the tally chart it will be given. I need to convert first this tally chart into the picture graph. Then second, I will convert the picture graph into the bar graph. So let's start first by converting the tally chart into the picture graph. So here I have sit, roll over, come and stay. This is the way her cat tricked her. So let's count together how many times her cat tricked her by sitting. So here the tally marks. Here I have 5 and 5 give me 10 and 4 give me 14. Roll over, I have 5 and 3, it will give me 8. By coming, I have 5 and 5, that's equal 10, plus 2, which equal 12. And stay, I have 5 and 5, 10, and 5, 15, and one more, it will give me 16. Now, what I will do with all these data, I will convert these data and I will represent them in the picture graph, but this time using picture because in my picture graph I can only add picture. Now, from where I will bring this picture? From the key down. You remember last time we say that the most important thing in the picture graph is that key, which most of the time will be written, it will be written down. So the key say that this picture equal 4 times. So whenever you see this hand, this is I think the hand of the cat, yeah. Whenever you see this hand, it means 4 times. Now we said that for sit it's 14, but I should not draw 14 hands because my key say that each hand means 4. So I will say how I can make 14 here in this picture graph, but using the hands. So I will say I will put here one hand, it will give me 4. One more hand, it will become 8. One more hand, it will become 12. Now I need 2 only more. So if I use the full hand, it will become it will become 16, but I need only 2. So I will take the half of the picture. It will give me 14. Now for the roll over it's 8, so I can use only 2 hands. So 4 and 4 it will give me 8. Now for come it's 12. So how many 4 give me 12? If I have 3, 4, it will give me 12. What about the stay? The same. The stay it's 16. I will say how many 4 give me 16? I need 4 hands. Now this is if I finish this is the picture graph, it will be done. Now, this picture graph, it will help me to draw the paragraph. Now, as we said before, the paragraph should contain 3 important points, the title and the scale, and last thing, all these activities, sitting, roll over, come and stay. Now, in some in some paragraphs, the scale it will be written down, and these are it will be up. No matter, I can put the scale either down or up. It will not be. It will be the same. Okay, no problem about this point. Now, the same. I said something I just want to remind you about it. For the scale, I will decide my scale. How I will decide it? I will decide it regarding my data. So here in my data, the maximum number I have it's 16 and the minimum number I have it's 8. So when I want to decide my scale, I should put in my mind that the scale should contain at least 8 and maximum of 16. It's okay if it is more, but it should contain the maximum number. Now, from my data, I can say, for example, if I skip count by 2 or by 4, it will be a good idea because here I think the difference between the numbers it's 4. So if I have here space, I can skip count by 2. If I don't have space, I can skip count by 4. In both, you can do it correct. No matter if, for example, if you did the same question using your own scale, and maybe, for example, if you want to use skip count by 2, and maybe your friend he want to use skip count by 4, no matter, but when you draw the bars, take care. Now, first we say it's 14, so I will draw, and here I don't have in the scale 14, so I will draw it at the middle between 12 and 16. It will be 14. What about the rollover? It's 8, so I will go and I will draw it exactly at 8. What about the come? Here it's exactly at 12. What about the stay? The same here also, it's equal exactly 16. That's it. And I think it's very easy. Just put in your mind that the paragraph, I need the title, the scale, and these data down.